inside the eye. So I want to show you real quick. This is the back of the eye, okay? This is probably closer to 75 to 80%. All right, we'll zoom in so we can see the structures that I was talking about on the drawing. All right, so looking through, we have that optic nerve, remember, where all the blood vessels and nerves exit the eye. This is that center vision here. And when we look at this, okay, remember, out of all this real estate, we got a whole lot of real estate that we're dealing with over here. That little guy is the only thing that we use to read. That's it, okay? 2% of that whole back of the eye. So if you say, hey doc, I can see 20/20, I don't need to get my eyes checked, I'm gonna say, great, 2% of the whole eye is good. The other 98%, remember, we don't know until we look, okay? So remember, all those blood vessels that enter the eye, they feed everything, and that's controlled by our health. Blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol, stress, anything affecting that blood flow can affect these blood vessels, which can effectively affect the vision, okay? Not just clarity, but the overall vision, all right? So those nerves that we have in the eye, you can't really see them, they're too small, but believe me, there are over 1 million nerves in each eye, and they all funnel out through here in that optic nerve. Now those nerves spread out all throughout the eye to give us that vision, not just our clear center vision, but also our peripheral vision. So this area over here is our center vision. We call that the macula. All right, it might sound familiar if you've had any family members with macular degeneration. This is the area that it affects. Now right in the center, this little dot is called the fovea. That's our clearest vision. That's our center vision, okay? When you want to read something, that's what we're going to use. So when you're walking across the street and you say, I need to go to that street because that's the road I live on, that's what you're using right there. But as you're walking across the street, all that side vision, that protection, the peripheral vision, that's everything else. That's what's taking care of you, making sure you stay safe, you don't trip on the curb or the crack on the concrete, or you watched for that car that might miss that red light, okay? That's what everything else is for. So I love 20/20, but that peripheral vision, that protection, that's what I care most about. So I've heard people ask, well, won't I notice if I have a problem in the back of the eye that I can get checked? Well, honestly, most people don't. There's a whole lot of space out there that we could miss. So if I had a problem way over here, okay, I'd still see perfect 20/20. It takes a whole lot of damage for me to realize that I'm missing something on that side vision. But if it hits that reading, it's really hard to get it back, okay? So that's what we're doing. We're looking to see any small defects on that side vision that can eventually cause problem with that center. Now, a little bit more description about that center vision area. Because this is the only place that we use to read, if you look at a book, okay? Let's turn this into a book. How about that? All right, there we go. Now it's a book. If you're looking at this word over here, okay, the only way you can see it clearly is if you look directly at it. Now, if I turn my eye over here, okay, it doesn't take long before the words around it gets blurry. So if I try to read this word over here, while I'm looking at this, it's almost impossible. That's why we have to turn our eye directly to what we want to see most clear. So if I waited till I couldn't see something when I looked directly at it, then there could be a lot bigger issues than just needing a pair of glasses.